Story of my life. Okay, is it too bright? Stop. Hello, join in.
Join in, hop in, do whatever you need to do.
It's a new year. Anyway.
January 2nd, guys. What the heck is going to happen this year?
But I've got my book earrings in.
Yep.
I've got my romance shirt on.
Basquiat, yep.
But we're going to go through
every book we read
We're
in
going to rank them without the tier ranking. And our question of the video is going to be, guess what our favorite book of the year was? Comment it down below before we even tell you. It'll be at the end of the video. Don't skip. Guess our favorite and guess our least favorite book of the year. So let's start off with DNFs of the year. We'll get those out of the way first.
Okay.
We did DNF a lot. I DNF'd 14 books this year.
What's the first book?
And I'm only counting books I got 20% or more into. And Lily, same thing. She DNF'd 6. So 14, 6. First book is Manacled. I DNF'd this book mostly because Lily finished it and kind of told me what happened. And so I'm not going to read it myself now that I know what happens. Mm-hmm. Wild Eye.
This Girl Wild Eyes.
DNF.
I DNF'd and so did Emma. We weren't enjoying the characters. Like, the children were being a little older and annoying. Acting. So we just were not vibing with this one. But we did read Wild Love.
Luna and the Lie by Marina Zapata. Right here. DNF'd it. The guy was so mean. Can't do mean men. Behind the Net. What did I hate about this book? Pretty much everything.
The guy.
Was it the guy? I feel like
yeah, and you were like, guys, hit me up. Tell me.
Just let me know the ending of this book. They had history or something in high school, wasn't it? Didn't like that book, though. DNF'd it. The Bodyguard, I DNF'd. I didn't like that the story kept breaking the fourth wall. It's like, I'm getting icked out. So, down with that book. Under Lock, another Marina Zapata. Super, super, super mean man. And he was calling her a bitch. Can't get on board with that. So, call her to her face.
Dirty bitch.
Dirty bitch. So that was a no. The Last Word. I got like 20.
Oh, we were reading this in the car as well.
The Last Word.
Remember? I tried to start it. Yeah, I read like 10%. It was slow as hell. Like, what are we doing?
It was not interesting at all. It wasn't capturing my attention anymore.
And you're supposed to be a thriller?
Yeah.
Come on.
Forged by Magic. Looks like this. Can't remember what I didn't like about this other than it being really slow. And I think she was like in a town and it just kind of like, nah, it just really lost my interest.
It wasn't giving.
It was a cozy fantasy and lost my interest. Love Like Falling Petals, this book.
Richard chose this for a reading vlog that never saw the light of day.
Yeah, I think I did try to vlog this, but the only problem with this book is...
too, he bought this one as well.
This book was, I think it's Japanese and...
It was dubbed bad, right?
It's dubbed or like translated over really badly. So I gave up on this book too. A Court This Cruel and Lovely. I cannot even remember this book. I read 20% of it. Didn't like it. I should have written notes down about why I didn't like these books. But I gave up on it. Lost my interest. Spark of the Other Flame. I literally read like 40+% of this book and I just couldn't do it. I was so bored. I didn't like the main girl character. And one thing about me is if I don't like the girl character, I'm not going to read anymore. Honestly.
How are you going to make me feel like a misogynist?
Like, I want to... Yeah, don't make me feel like a misogynist. I will not read your book because I don't want to be a woman hater. I'm just going to stop reading. Where the Dark Stands Still. This is another cozy fantasy. This is how I know I don't like cozy fantasies. It was so slow, so boring. And I think it was some kind of mythology inspired, like... from a different country. I can't remember what it was though. The Road of Bones. I also read quite a bit of this book.
Didn't you read like 40%?
I did. I read a lot of this book. Maybe even more. Maybe 60% of this book.
I don't remember. It was something for a reading vlog and Emma was not liking it. It was like that 12 hour.
It was just so
Remember?
slow.
And you were trying to read it.
Maybe that might be a book I come back to and enjoy more later. I was just in a slumpy slump this year. He's so cute, you can't see. We both DNF'd this.
I don't like Insta Love, and that's what this was giving.
It was so
Insta Lust, sorry. But basically love.
And the writing being first person and third person threw me off. I didn't like that either.
By the time I got drunk and saved a human. I wasn't liking the vibes of this. It wasn't written bad. I don't know. I didn't like it.
You did not.
Richard had chose it for the vlog with the other book too, that we said before. I forgot why I didn't like it, but it wasn't giving.
I think it was the writing. It was kind of cringy.
Yeah, like, it was like corny, and I was like,
it was so corny, and you were just like, you would read out sentences and be like, ugh.
I don't know. Yeah, I started this. I wanted to try to like this because I've had this.
We might do like a little book.
We should go find little libraries.
Little libraries. That'd be cute.
Emma, we can get rid of like
a lot of books, yeah.
I did not like this book. I've had this book on my shelves for, I want to say, since they came out.
Yeah.
I think this is my last time. I'm not going to read these. I just did not like them.
No.
They kiss like within, I want to say, the first few chapters, and I was like,
hold up.
Hold up, wait a minute. And he's rude. I didn't like that. I don't like rude men. Yeah, Sadie Jones and the Six. I don't know. Maybe I'd rehash this, but I didn't like it.
Right. I've heard the audiobook's good.
Yeah, because there's many different voices, but I'm bad. I looked up the ending, so I've seen it, and I just don't really care for it. And I must read other books by her, and she didn't love them, so I'm like, well, I really like it. I don't know. And I already wasn't liking it. I'd read like 20%, and I was like,
That's all of our DNFs.
Yay!
Now we'll move on to our 1 stars. Tell Lily she needs to give out more 1 stars, because she only gave out 1 star, and she will really hate something and probably give it 2.
My 1 star for this whole year is A Crown of Oaths and Curses. And when I tell you I read all 662 pages of that book, I did. I didn't hate read it, but I was trying to get through it. I was like, everybody was saying slow burn, slow burn, slow burn. They barely even touched nothing. They didn't get nothing the whole time. And I was like, okay, maybe that'll be a book 2 thing. But he hated her from the beginning to end, and not like cute hate. Like, he was just genuinely mean. And I don't read books like that. I don't enjoy books like that. I never will.
Okay, one of mine is Only for the Week. Looks like this. Something about this book I don't like. Insta-lust, insta-love. Icked me out immediately. And then I thought the writing was very cringy. So I did not enjoy myself at all. Oh, I didn't like how the sister and her.
Oh, yeah.
We're sisters. Like, I could just never imagine. I can't even sympathize with that whole storyline. Nocticadia. I wish I could give this a higher review because I loved this book for probably 40 or 50% of it. Then it lost all the plot. And it got super cringy. And then we had massive info dumps at the end from like 1 character. Big bad guy that just tells you everything that happens and how it all works out. I hate that. Make it make sense. Under One Roof, which is a novella by Ali Hazelwood. I thought, what better way to end the year? I need to read some novellas to kind of up my, my reading goal. I read this one. I can't even read the other ones because this one was so bad. 2 stars. One of my first ones is The Unhoneymooners. I don't know if was this in a vlog? I just don't like this book. I did not like the characters at all. And by the end, I was like, you all do not need to be in a relationship. This is like the worst.
Unhaul.
Yeah, this could go into Unhaul. 2 stars. I read this book. It just wasn't 1 star because I didn't hate read it for a while. It got towards the end.
I didn't hate it. Like, I thought The Vacation was a vibe. But the fact that she thought that he, like, body shamed her, I was like,
I don't remember the body shaming now.
And she was like, yeah, I thought that you didn't like the way I...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
So I was kind of like,
I felt like
her
reasonings were valid, and then he would kind of brush them off like, you just don't understand me.
Well,
you
like,
didn't understand the way
That's not... Oh, you don't know about our siblings. And it's like, I do. She's my twin sister. F you.
Yeah, it was so icky.
I didn't like that.
Next 2 star that I physically have is Shatter Me. This was just X-Men. They copied X-Men, slapped a new label on it. Especially like X-Men, like future, like the prequel series. That's what this was. It was super cringy. I don't like that Aaron Warner, or what's he called in the first book? Warner, whatever. I don't like that he was already instantly obsessed with her in every way for no reason. 2 stars. And then literally here's the book. And then the rest of this is just book 2.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
2 stars.
Okay, one of mine is The Bridge Kingdom. I was just not liking this book that much.
Same.
Yeah, we read this at the same time. I did not like this book. I felt, was it Insta? I can't remember. No. I think it was just boring.
It was just a boring read.
And I didn't feel the chemistry between them. It felt kind of, like, there was this one scene where I was like,
I could see it.
But I didn't understand. Oh, okay. I was watching this girl on, no hate to this girl or anything. I was watching author TikToks, like, to get inspired about writing. I was wanting to write during the summertime. Like a country romance. Like, I was in my Elsa Silver mood. I found this girl and I was like, oh, I want to support her and read her book. It's called The Darkness That Follows Us. I just personally didn't like it that much. I thought it was weird. I don't know. Like, she acted like the issues could be, like, he had drug problems in the book, and meeting her acted like it would solve it.
So addicted to you kind of vibes?
Yeah, like, it would solve it. I was like, your drug addiction's not going to go away because you met this girl.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
it may help you. Like, she may help you through it, and encourage you to do better. But it's not just going to go away. I don't know. It was just things like that where I was like, oh, my other one is A 7-Year Slip. Kindle, don't hate me. I'm sorry. But I just didn't like this book. I didn't like this book that much. I thought it was kind of like... Boring and like the time traveling thing, and I didn't think she was that close with her aunt. Like, it didn't feel like
You didn't get the
familial bond. I don't know. I wasn't liking it. And then I put only for a week, which is what we read in a reading vlog. Yeah, I was kind of, the sibling, that's what got me, was the sisters. Mm-hmm. Where I was like, I would never do that to my sister, so how are you going to openly be like...
One of my most recent reads is Legendborn. I gave this 2 stars. I don't know what I was expecting from it, but it wasn't what I got. And by the end of the story, just wasn't interested. It's also young adult, and I can understand that, but I think she's 16. I was thinking the whole time she's 18 years old, she's 16 years old in a college program with people that are older than her in a way. The Secret Society to me was so meh, like, I honestly. And then it had the trope where she literally is like the most powerful of all time. You can keep it. I don't need it.
It's not for Emma.
I just get so tired of those at this point. I don't need her to be like the thing that's always been talked about. Oh, and like a past. She was very close with her mother, and I hate when plots do this where they're like, oh, by the way, Crescent City did this. Her and her best friend knew everything about each other, but the person dies, and all of a sudden there's all this stuff they've kept from you all this time.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
I hate that trope. Next thing I did was Two Can Play by Allie Hazelwood. It is that audiobook novella.
Oh, yeah, the blue one.
Not a fan of Two Can Play, just 2 stars for me. It was already forgettable, honestly. Yours truly. Wish I could say I liked this book. I don't think Abby Jimenez is for me. I've said this many times, but this book, I get to the end of her books, probably 70% on it, and I'm like rage reading. Rage! So I can't connect with her female main characters. I wish I could. And I think that the men in these books, I'm going to sound like a woman hater. I hate this. But the men in her books are like the nicest men you've ever met on planet Earth. They're so unrealistic. And then the girls are just like these...
They're very flawed.
They are. And I can appreciate them for what they are, but I can't relate.
Because you just don't want to support the relationship.
Yes. You cannot do that to people and then expect them to drop everything and take you back where you are again. You know? And that's kind of what happens in all of her books. So Funny Feelings. This was like a comedy romance. She was a stand-up comedian. Why wasn't the book funny? Why? The book didn't give me funny feelings. It gave me icked out feelings. So 2 stars for that. The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. Lily had me pick up her book earlier this year because I liked Fourth Wing. I might need to pick up another book by her, but this one was just not for me. I didn't like the dual timelines with it being like forever ago. And also you're learning stuff about your grandparents that you didn't know. Once again, I hate this trope. And then the current day romance I didn't even care about. Leave me in the past or leave me in the, make one of the timelines right. Vampires of El Norte, I think was described to me as like a gothic romance or something. And I'm thinking One Dark Window, something like that. No, this was very much... Oh, and there was barely any vampires in it. And they weren't like vampires like you're thinking. It was just boring ass vampires. History. I also don't like the trope. I don't think I like Second Chance very much. This person believed that the girl was dead all this time, and then he comes back to town and she's been alive all these years. But he ran away the minute he thought she died. Done and Dusted. Really thought I was going to be like in another world with cowboy romances, but Done and Dusted is just so not for me. I didn't like the writing. I think his nickname for her was Sugar or something. Nicknames can really make or break a book for me. And Done and Dusted. Girls. And I think that they were having sexual relations within 30% of the book.
That's it for our 2 stars. All right, let's keep it
moving on. 3 star. 3 stars. Okay, start with yours since you have... Let's start with our physical.
Okay. So this is what's just on the top. It is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monahan. Mm-hmm. Monahan. I read this, I think in the summer. It was summery vibes. I liked it enough. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was just like a romance if you're... Okay, well, the one thing I remember that she was kind of out of pocket. She goes over to his house or his apartment. She's like, "Why you got a big boy house? You got a big boy apartment." I was like,
"Why are you saying that?
You're kind of rude." Mm-hmm. And you're wanting to... This man, girl, boy. The next book, me and Emma both read this. This is better than the movies. This book is okay.
I'm sorry, Kendall. I think I liked this book good enough.
It was okay, but the girl, she's just a little silly.
She lied the whole time.
I liked, what's his name?
Wes.
How do you remember that every time?
Because I like him.
I liked Wes. He was sweet and cute. Mm-hmm. But how is there going to be a second one? Just tell me they broke up.
They did break up. That's the whole premise.
I just wasn't messing with this book. It was okay.
She did not get enough.
And she lied a lot. And
Young
she was
adult
forgiven
books need to
for
teach
it.
a lesson. And she didn't learn her freaking lesson.
I did with, like, yeah.
Not enough. I feel like she deserved more. Like, girl, you've been lying to everyone with no consequence.
Yeah. Yeah. My next one, guys, don't switch up on me. Don't switch up on me. I did read this.
You're so silly.
Why?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's what I thought. I read Red Rising in December. Yeah, I'm smart.
You're a smart girl.
I'm just kidding. This book, I felt really dumb the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like how Destiny was saying, like, I don't know. This was weird, like a weird read to me. I listened to it with graphic audio, so did I read it physically? No. But I tried, but I don't know. This was okay. Like, I feel so dumb. So, like, I can't rate it 2-star because here's my thinking. It was better than a 2-star, but not better than a 3 because I felt like I didn't fully, conceptualize. Like,
you didn't comprehend it all.
Yes, comprehend the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand some of the things that was happening, but then other parts I was lost. I was lost, babe.
Yeah.
I really like the guy's accent. That's all I know.
The Irish.
Yeah. And then, no, but when they make him speak posh, like, he completely changed up when he had to speak in the British accent, and I was like, he ate with that.
Good job.
The guy, I don't know who voiced him, but he did good. My next one is Normal People. I've seen the show, and I was like, I still have this, because it was in the townhouse, and I had this book left over, and I was like, why not? I'll read it. It's short. I'll finally get to reading it. I hated the ending. This is annoying. I don't know. They're okay. I didn't hate it, though. It just, like, I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think the show's better. My next book, oh shoot, it's Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. It was mid like the show. I really loved the other books. I mean, the other seasons of this show. This one, I don't know, like, Colin has anger issues, and I don't stand for that.
No.
Next book is Emma, Physical.
All Roads Lead Here. I gave this 3.5 stars. I can't remember what I did.
You like Rhodes, right?
I really liked Rhodes, and I did like her. I just think that this book was missing something that felt like Mariana Zapata.
Maybe I like it.
I liked it. It's a 3.5. Like, it wasn't a 4-star, like, wait for it and other things. It was just kind of like, it was fine. Their romance was fine, and there were cute moments in it, but it wasn't my favorite of hers.
Okay, next on the physical is Once Upon a Broken Heart. I just remember reading this for a vlog, and I don't know, Evangeline, she's kind of silly.
She's just juvenile.
She's ditzy, and no, it's okay. I'm not obsessed or anything.
Right.
All right, next one is from Blood and Ash. We both read this year. Mm-hmm. I think I gave it 3.75.
3.5 for me.
Or 3.5. I don't remember what I put. I really enjoyed this. I like Castillo.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed Hawk and Poppy. I think they're really, like the banter back and forth, and he's like, you know, but it wasn't cringy. Good banter. It wasn't cringy banter, which is what I really appreciate. Like, other people write cringy banter. Hats off to this one.
Very good.
My next one is Zodiac Academy. This was a very different book than what I've read before. It was a different setting, like going to the school. Like, yeah, I was giving Harry Potter Fourth Wing energy where, like, they're in a school setting and they're forced to be around these people. Like, the first one was not hitting as hard. Mm-hmm. But then the second one, I feel like I liked it more.
Right.
So maybe like a 3.25.
3 stars for the first.
This one's not, like I could see at the end why people want to read the next one. Mm-hmm. Because, like, it was kind of giving, like, the people that you went together finally starting to kiss for the first time. The people, like, are around each other. It was giving more bonding moments. Like, Darius was being nicer. I was like, wait, I kind of like it. So I didn't hate this one as much. Or I didn't hate the first one. That's not what I mean. But
it was faster to get through, maybe.
Yeah. And I was listening to it on audio. So this one was just kind of trauma heavy, but I didn't hate it. It was, what's the word? Like,
yeah.
But I didn't hate it. It was just very... What's a word to describe it?
Mid. Throne of Glass, for me, is a 3.5 stars. I think the other ones are a little bit higher, but this one... It took me so long to read this, so I read like 20% of it like last year, and then I finished it this summer. So it took me a long time. But once I got into this book, I think I really got into it. Mm-hmm. The trials were more fun. The ending was interesting. The little mystery we had going on was good. And I really enjoyed Dorian and her's friendship, and Kale's, to be honest. I liked them in this book. It was just fine. It wasn't, like, it was just overhyped in my opinion.
All right.
Same for this one. I would say 3.5, 3.75. This book is so overhyped. We both read this. I mean, it's like huge. It was very, very long.
And I didn't feel like the payoff was that good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There were those moments that, of course, everybody talks about. And when they happened, I was kind of like,
okay.
I think maybe if I didn't know that they were coming and if I wasn't waiting for them to happen, like there were moments where I was like, okay, well, when's this going to happen? When is that moment going to happen? And when it did happen, I was just kind of underwhelmed.
I remember the beginning being good. Like we were enjoying the beginning.
I feel like the pacing was, it was like one of those ups and downs. And then, of course, the ending, it had like its emotional moments.
I don't know. It was okay.
My next one would be Ruthless Vows, which is the sequel to Divine Rivals. Divine Rivals was such a good book. This was such a letdown. It was so... It was so boring. So boring. Their romance, like, lost everything for me at this point in the story. I really don't know what else to say other than I was just so let down. And by the end, couldn't care. I just couldn't care anymore. Okay, Worst Wingman Ever was a novella I read for Valentine's Day. And it was in, like, a bunch of novellas.
Oh, yeah. I thought you liked this one.
Oh, it was so good. I could have given it 5 stars. But since it's so short, you know, it's like a 4.5 for me. Loved it. Everybody should go read it. It's so cute.
Oh, yeah. Butcher and Blackbird, I gave this a 3-star because I think it was just mainly the spice that got to me where I was like, But I was liking their build-up the whole time. I thought they were funny. And they were just kind of, like, crazy the whole time.
I loved it.
But it was, like, good energy. But then once the spice kicked in, I was like,
yeah.
So.
That's why it's in a 4-star for me. I thought it was going to be a 5-star read. I was having so much fun
Yeah,
with
we were having a lot of fun. We read this for 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. This year I did read the rest of the Chestnut Spring series in January. I read all of them in that month. And I read like 12 books that month. And I was like, Emma, I'm going to read 100 books. You know? But I read, for my 3 stars, it would be Powerless and Hopeless. These are the bookmen that I didn't like as much. I thought I'd like Beau more. I liked him enough. It was mainly Bailey. I don't know. She was kind of, I don't know.
And don't mention her age every 2 seconds.
Yeah, he was doing that a lot. And then Jasper, I didn't like him. Sorry.
I know.
Sorry. But I liked the trope, but I think I'm growing up now, and I think my frontal lobe has definitely developed more, where I don't think I like friends to lovers as much anymore. You're telling me you haven't had sex in 15 years, and you're pining after each other for 15 years? Please.
Or if you have talked about it, then they never talk again, and just 10 years later they talk. Yeah.
I don't believe it.
It's immature.
It's not the witch you wed. We
read in a reading vlog. This one.
I can't remember
it was
this.
corny
I can't remember
as
this.
can be. Cats out of the bag. It was
Wolves out of the den. But we still quote that, so it was funny.
Yeah, it had some funny moments.
But it wasn't serious. Like, why can't wolf books witch books be serious?
The reason I didn't like it is because it was corny as can be. And I don't like corny books. And a lot of Halloween books, witchy books, are just like this. Oh, girlies, lighting looks different because we had to charge the camera.
All right, let's keep this show moving.
Okay.
So we're on 3 stars. My next book is Addicted to You. I rated this 3 stars because they're kind of insufferable as characters. But it was still entertaining. If you get the vibes, you know. Mm-hmm. So it was entertaining enough. Oh, the next book is The Teacher by Miss Frida McFadden. This book, it was shocking at some parts because the last thing said about somebody, I was like, really? Like, I don't know that age thing, but but I didn't hate it. It just wasn't one of my favorites by Frida McFadden. I feel like she's written better, and that one kind of felt like it was pumped out really quickly. Right. Oh, Curse of the Wolf King is my next 3-star. What do I have to say about this? I thought I'd like it more because it's a wolf book. I think I just took too long to read it, so I didn't like it that much. I think if you binge this book, you'll usually probably like it. So, my next book. Game of Thrones is such a long book. I listened to this on audio. It was fine. The guy who voiced it was really, really good. I just think the show is better. Phantasma for me. That's right. I liked Phantasma, but I just didn't like the characters together. I don't see how they'd be together after that book. So, I just recently read this. I read The Housemaid's Secret, and I did like this book. I only rated it 3 stars because you can only do so much with that, and the fact that it's still about Millie, I was kind of confused. The next book is Manacled. Manacled is, I put this under 3 star. I wish I could have rated it 5 star, how people really, really enjoyed this book, but I personally just did not like it. Like I rated it 3 star because I read it and it was fine, but it felt so long. I started it with Emma a while ago, and then I finally was like, I'm going to bite the bullet and finish it. And I don't know. Like, when they got together, I was enjoying that part, but then that barely lasted. So I was like, all this heartache in for what? Like, fanfics really like to do that and prey on that on your mind.
It's just such a dark read.
It's dark. So I think that's just why I didn't like. And that was on me for not liking that, and I knew it was dark. So.
Yeah. Okay, for me, the first Heartstopper is a 3-star. Lily overhyped the crap out of this book to me. So I went into it with, like, I guess, really high expectations. I also have seen this show play in the background of life. Like, I had the show memorized, the voices memorized, everything. So, I mean, I guess I've watched the show. I've also watched people watch the show.
With me.
So I think I expected more from the first book, but really this was just, like, the very beginning of that season. It kind of just cuts off and then, like, the plot, there's no more plot after that. Like, I wanted more. And I think that's why it's 3 stars. I expected more because I'd seen the first season of the show. We both read this. Yes. Okay, so When You Were Everything we read for a bookish video. We could put it here.
Yeah, Medita chose it for us.
Yes. And I think this book had good themes. It was, I don't know, I think I could relate to, like, losing a friendship in middle school, high school, things like that. And, like,
it was
people
like,
do change.
It's meant for the younger growing pain. Like, Happy Place is, like, older growing pain. This was younger, and that's why I liked it.
I think
it was way different than any other book I'd read that year.
It was sad. It was just very sad, and
it makes you think about things that you haven't thought in a while.
I think the ending was not the payoff I wanted from the book.
I know.
Heartless Hunter, I gave 3.5, 3.75. Wasn't a 4-star for me, but I liked it enough to continue on, and I've heard the next book is going to be super good. So I'm excited to move on.
Next one is Trust of the Emerald Sea.
Ooh, Trust of the Emerald Sea was my first. I was kind of going into a book slump at this time of year. Picked up this book thinking it was...
I don't think this is what caused your book slump.
I actually do think this is what put me in a perpetual book slump.
Because of the Breaking Bad as well.
Yeah, we were watching Breaking Bad. Yeah, this was just a rough time of year, I guess. Trust of the Emerald Sea was my first Brandon Sanderson book. And I didn't hate it. I just felt that it was kind of... like, it was just so mediocre. And I hope his other books are better. I hope they have better magic systems, better plots. This just felt juvenile, which is fine, but it wasn't for me. So.
Next book is Kingdom of the Wicked.
Kingdom of the Wicked. I gave like a 2.5 to 3 star. I'm going to put it in 3 stars, but really, I did not like this. I kind of hate read it. I didn't like our main male character, and I really didn't like our main female character. I found them both insufferable. I don't see how they would be a couple. I don't see how this plot is going to continue on for 2 other books. And I think my expectations were high because I really liked Throne of the Fallen. Maybe that was just a fluke of that being a good book and these just not being good books.
The next one is A Fire in the Flesh.
You'll soon find out that, like, one of my favorite reads of the year is the Flesh and Fire series. But the 3rd book in the series is A Fire in the Flesh, and I hated it. Yeah. 3 stars because I love our characters, but they were separated for, like, the entirety of the book, it felt like. And not in, like, a fun ACOTAR way where we already knew the people. You don't know these people in this book. She's stuck in an area you don't care about. She's locked in a cage. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I couldn't do it anymore. It took me so long to read, and that also put me in a slump. So,
next one's Quicksilver.
Ooh, Quicksilver. I listened to this on audiobook. I don't know if I liked it or not. I didn't like Kingfisher. I think he was so insufferably...
You like Carrion more.
Yeah, Carrion carried this book for me.
On God.
Genuinely. Our main girl, I found her to be, like, bland. She was there, but nothing crazy. And she was kind of that snarky girl character, which aren't my favorite. Like Selena vibes, where they think highly of themselves in a way. And I also don't understand the need to want to leave. She literally was starved for water and life and everything. And she was trying her hardest to leave this life where she's taken care of to go save her brother and live in the desert. So,
next one is City of Bones.
Ooh, City of Bones, Mortal Instruments. I read Legendborn. It gave me the vibes of Mortal Instruments. And I thought, I love those movies. I wonder if the book does it better than Legendborn. So I go and read Mortal Instruments. This book was nothing like the movie. Like, they didn't get anything right in this movie. But I was shook by the whole plot. I'm like, what? The movie is so bad. Or, like, it's so badly translated, but I really liked the movie.
More.
So I was disappointed by the book. But really, I don't know how to feel about that. So 3 stars, like, I liked the book. I do think it's kind of funny because we have a whole sibling forbidden love thing going on, which, why were you doing that to us back then?
Next up is our 4 stars.
This is where I thrive.
Yeah, Emma has a lot.
I have a lot of 4 stars.
We'd start with this one. Out on a Limb?
Ooh! I think originally in the year I gave this a 5-star, but looking back now, I don't think about it as much. So it's definitely a 4-star, 4.5 book for me. Mm-hmm. It was so cute. I think most romance books should be done this way, where there's no third act breakup. It's just like working on a relationship up to the end and it like getting more and more romantic. That's my vibe of a romance. I hate these insta-lust books and then the smutty stuff and then the third act, miscommunication and then makeup, and it doesn't make sense. Out on a Limb was just like a perfect romance. Next 4-star is Beach Read. This feels like a fever dream now. I read this as we were moving. I think I finished it the day we moved. So I don't remember it as well as I should. I just remember liking it. It's a 4-star. It didn't hit as hard as Happy Place for me. So it was like good, but it wasn't like the most amazing read I've ever had. So there you go.
Okay, the next one I would say is Funny Story by Miss Emily Henry, this girl, the queen. I really enjoyed the characters in this book. I feel like really relatable to Daphne. And then Miles was just funny. He was just giving Nick Miller.
So I related to him too.
Yeah, I did. I really liked Funny Story. I read Book Lovers earlier this year. I think I tried to read it in a reading blog.
This was the last book I read this year.
That's crazy.
Or last year now.
I tried to read this book and then I picked it back up sometime. I don't know. I rated this 4. I really enjoyed the guy Charlie in this, and I thought that the romance between them was fun.
So
I remember liking it a lot.
It was very cute. I just wish I could have related more to Nora. As an older sibling of a sister, I felt she was very cold. But I liked her. Like, I could sympathize with her. I read all of Emily Henry did it this year. Oh my gosh. So People We Meet on Vacation is a 4-star read. If the third act breakup wasn't what it was, I would have given this higher probably. I also think it's super dumb premise to have people that are basically in love with each other and have been for decades, and then they don't talk for 2 years because of one drunken kiss. Like, that was dumb. Dumb. So, yeah, 4 stars. So, for me, these 3 Heartstopper books, which are 2, 3, and 5, I guess I'll put them in order. These are 4-star reads for me. I thought they were very cute, very quick, very fun reads, and I really like Nick and Charlie's relationship as a whole in all of these books.
The next book I read, I don't even know, it's not in order, but I read The Cruel Prince earlier on, and I remember really liking Jude, and then obviously like the for real enemies to lovers with Carden. Like, you don't even know if that man would ever like her. So I just remember, him being crazy and being like, I hate you. Legitimately hate you.
Right. So I love them. Okay, mine, this is where we flip-flopped. This is a 4-star read for me, 4.5. I think the exposition was very long and drawn out, and I just was kind of really forcing myself to get through that first probably 20%. But once you get past that, it's such a fun read. So good. The tension between the characters is great. I even liked the common tropes that were used in this book, but they ended up they twisted them a little bit, and I really liked that. And of course the wolf stuff I really liked. Mm-hmm. So for me, 4.5.
I did start reading Once Upon a again this year because Emma kept telling me I need to read it. So I was like, okay.
I also read her this year.
Crazy. 2 favorite authors this year.
Literally.
I started reading it. I knew from The Wall of Winnipeg and Me that she had to slow burn, and Emma was like, it's so slow burn. Culty's so hot. I was like, okay, I'll read it. And I really liked it. Yeah, I really liked Sal. She was funny. I don't know. And she wanted to protect her dad. And I liked that. Yeah. I don't know. I thought their relationship was fun.
So fun.
I liked their friendship a lot. It was really cute.
For me, Bride is a 4-star. 4.5, really. I think if I wasn't so confused in the beginning of this book, because I remember it taking me a week or so to even just, every time I'd open it, I was confused. But once I realized the plot was about her friend being missing, I was like, oh, I'm into this now. Mm-hmm. And I really liked the romance, so it was 4-star. But the third act breakup was so stupid. I can't, that's why I don't want to reread it, because I was like, fuck you.
This next book was early on. It was during the summer because I was like,
it was a summary book. Yep.
Yeah, and everybody was talking about it and being like, "Oh my god, the."
Oh yeah, a lot of people related to this book.
Yeah, like people were relating with it. And I was like, "Oh, let me give it a try," and I really liked it. I really liked the main guy, Justin, and Emma was a little. But I did like Justin. I liked him a lot. And so did Emma. Yeah, we read this around the same time.
Yeah, we did.
So,
I think this is a 4.5 star read. 4 stars. Of course, this is the 4-star category. But this, to me, didn't meet the expectations of Chestnut Springs. Like, it just wasn't the same vibe. And I think it's because they're more city people in, like, an area. And this was... What was she? To him. Just, like, somebody helping out with his studio kind of thing. Yeah, I didn't really love it. And Wild Eyes, same kind of thing. It just doesn't have that cowboy small town romance feel. And it doesn't have that family.
They weren't as naughty either.
No, they weren't. But it was cute. Like, I liked it. So 4 stars.
Moving on with other Elsie Silver books. We have Heartless. I read this early in January last year. This year, last year, whatever.
Last year, no.
Whatever. I really, really enjoyed Heartless. He Daddy K, you know, Mr. Man. He's cray-cray.
I love him.
But I also loved Willa a lot.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then the other one, because I already talked about Jasper and whatever, you know, hopeless and powerless, is Reckless. This is probably my favorite one. I really love Theo. He's really sweet, and I really loved Winter. So,
can you believe we liked a pregnancy trope book?
Yeah, I know, and I really, I just liked him.
So
I like them a lot. They're my favorite. And then in the other books, I would say Summer and Rhett. I hate to say it.
I didn't like their book very much.
I didn't like their book.
I loved them as a couple.
I loved them, like, in the group chats and everything. They're so funny together, and she's so sweet.
She is. Summer's probably the best girl character. A reread, a wee weed, would be One Dark Window. Still a great book. Two Twisted Crowns is just so good that this can't be 5 stars for me. This is like a 4.5, 4.75. And it is a little slow in the beginning, but once it picks up, it's really good. And the magic system, once you figure it out, once again, very good. And I will now read anything Rachel Gillig writes. So I'm so excited for it. The Shepherd and the Moth book. So,
Slay.
The Soulmate Equation. I'm kind of forgetting this book because I read it like a year ago now. But I do remember really liking it. And it gave me Allie Hazelwood STEM romance vibes in like the best way. But honestly, this is kind of done better than her books that I've read. So maybe pick this up if you're interested in STEM romances, but you didn't like Allie Hazelwood. This is my one and only Lauren Asher book I've read. Lily has tried the billionaire books. Wasn't into them. I'm not a billionaire romance girly, but this book I read and I gave it 4 stars. I could probably lower it now to like a 3 because I don't think about this ever. But at the time, I thought it was really good. 4 stars.
This is one I've just read and I really, really enjoyed it. Like, I actually really, really liked it, and I'm going to read the second one, I believe this month. So.
We'll see.
But I just remember being very shocked with everything that was happening. It was giving Handmaid's Tale energy, but in a YA. But even though it didn't feel like YA,
right?
It felt like 2000s YA. It was crazy, but I really, really liked it. So
it's upper YA.
I give it like 4.5. Oh. I really liked it. This I read in a reading vlog. This is my favorite book by Frida McFadden. I just remember once again being very shocked. And each, like, the not cliffhanger, like, each chapter felt like it had a cliffhanger, and that's how you write a thriller. Just like boom, 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 and then I was done.
Yeah, she was very shook by that book.
Oh my gosh, this is one of my. I don't know. I still love Theoretically.
I think Love Theoretically.
I really like. Better. I love. I know the Love.
But that's like nostalgic.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one. I just remember him being on her and being like, girl, like.
I think she's a grown-up version of Liz from Better Than the Movies. Because she does lie.
Yeah, for no reason.
In like a people-pleasing kind of way, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but I did enjoy Jack's character. I remember him being
Jax.
Like. Yeah,
so good. 4 stars for all of these. Crown of Midnight is a solid 4-star. Loved it. It was just really fun. I liked the cliffhanger, but I knew it was going to come. Like, I knew it was happening. So, 4. Air of Fire, I feel like it's way too much hate, but for me, it was a 4-star. I really liked Rowan and Selena. Like, I liked their bonding moments in the training and her getting kind of humbled a little bit. She needed a little humbling, and this book did it. Queen of Shadows is like a 4.5 star. maybe 4.75. I thought this felt like a movie the whole time. I was never bored. And that's hard to say because some of these books are boring.
Yeah, she had payoff in this.
This was like what I wanted Kingdom of Ash to be, but it wasn't. Like, this was the highest high in all of the series for me. Empire Storms. I did the tandem read, and believe it or not, I did like Tower of Dawn. I know that's kind of controversial for people. And between the two books, I think I liked Tower of Dawn more. I liked the romance. It was a slow burn. I liked the characters. I don't hate Kale, but I also, like, I don't really care, you know? But his book was really good to me. I didn't hate him as a person. Mm-hmm. Empire Storms, I felt like it was like very much Kingdom of Ash where it was like up and down the whole time. And by the end, I was kind of shook by the ending, the cliffhanger, but not like super shook. And I liked how these lined up together by the end and we knew all the information together. So 4 stars.
Right, my next book would be Wait For It by Mariana Zapata. I really liked Dallas in this book. I really liked Diana. I don't know.
I gave this a 4.5.
And the kids weren't annoying. I feel like they had really real kids, real issues, and he was just a daddy.
Another one I read was The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. I gave this 4 stars. It was kind of a cozy romance fantasy. I liked the different creatures. Like the mail carriers were like a bird and then something else. It was like quirky, cute. And it has the trope in it that I like that Lily doesn't like, where it's in person, they don't really like each other. They're just kind of dealing with each other, but through messaging, they are like sending letters back to each other, and they're kind of like pen pals, and they like each other. And then they agree to meet up one day, and in this book, he knows it's her, but she doesn't know it's him. And I don't know, I really liked it. Ooh, Butcher and Blackbird for me was a 4.5. I know Lily gave it a 3. But the smutty scenes, if I could skip over those, I think I would give this 5 stars. It was so fun. I liked the murder mystery aspect. I liked that they were serial killers that killed other killers, you know, Dexter vibes. It was just such a fun time. And the guy character, he was giving like true romance book stuff. It was not dark to me. I loved it.
What Hurt Says?
What Hurt Says. It looks like this. And I don't remember everything that happened. I just remember it being like a, what's it called? Like engagement of convenience, where they're not married, they're engaged. I liked it. Small town romance. It was very good. Solid 4 stars. Curse of the Wolf King. So cute. 4 stars. I was giggling. This man reminds me very much of like Mr. Darcy or something. Kind of just hard at processing normal human emotions. They do struggle. And of course they fall in love with a girl that can kind of help them through these social situations. I loved it. Part of the Raven Prince. This was the second book in the Curse of the Wolf King. It's like Entangled Fae series. I really liked it. It was the Cinderella retelling, which I don't read a lot of Cinderella retellings. And he was giving Rhysand vibes, and it was just, oh, it was so good. It was just a 4-star read. I like it. Okay, this was my Mariana Zapata awakening. I read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, and I fell in love. Like, I just needed more. I need to capture those feelings in a bottle or in book form and read more of it. So I went into like a deep dive of all of her books and soon realized that she's got about 5 or 6 that are good, and that's about it.
Wait for it.
Wait for it. I think I just talked about it with Lily, but Lily gave it 4 stars. I gave it 4.5. I think we already talked about it.
She loves Dallas.
Love Dallas. A Faint Inked Blood. Oh. It's a very good Norse mythology book, and I really like that she's a shield maiden, and I liked the beginning. I thought the plot was always moving. Something's always happening, and I thought Bjorn was like a really goofy, quirky, funny character. The main character, Girl, she really stressed me out, and she made choices but I like that in a book. If I'm like, why are you doing that? I would never do that. That is why I'm not the main character of a book.
Court of Silver Flames. We never thought we were going to read this, guys, but we did.
It was so good.
The dramatized version we listened to was so good. I love Cassian's voice, and
Nesta's voice was so good.
Just
she was so bitchy in the best
tone.
way.
Yeah. So we really like that one.
And I hate to love her.
And no cried at the end, so.
If I could pick a book I don't think about ever, it's A Dowry of Blood. I gave it 4 stars. That's all I really need to say. It was good at the time, I guess. I don't remember much about it. Don't really think about it. I just remember it being very, very messy. And the vampires were so boring. Dracula was boring. Ooh, I like this book. Okay, A Paradise Problem was, I think, Christina Lauren's better book. Like, A Soulmate Equation and this book are like their best books. And it was such a good summary vibe. And that's really it. Just read it over the Unhoneymooners if I could do anything.
Wicked King. I remember liking this.
The plot twist.
I was jarred at the end. I was like,
I know.
So for that 4.5 girls.
This was probably her. Like, I thought Cruel Prince is a 5-star read. I like the school aspect and bullying, and like that ending book was crazy. Mm-hmm. Then this one was really good and has a great cliffhanger, so 4.5 stars. And I think Queen of Nothing I gave 4.5. Yeah, next book would be Queen of Nothing, and I think this is where it kind of went down a little bit. I thought the ending was a little messy, but it was still a good book. It was a really good trilogy. I liked it a lot. Mm-hmm. You gave it 4 stars for the last one, or a 3?
3.
You put it in 3? Okay.
It's okay. It was my favorite, though.
I love From Luke Off With Love.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite one by her. I really, really liked Ivan, and I really liked Jasmine. Their chemistry. Oh!
I just love a book where they have to train together for something. Like,
yeah, it was too good.
It's so good. Oh my gosh.
Metal Slinger.
Ooh, Metal Slinger. I read this because of Emmy, and I'm so glad I did. I don't know what I was expecting from it, but the whole time I knew something was going to happen because everybody was talking about the cliffhanger. So I didn't trust anyone. I didn't trust anybody. I couldn't fall for any of the characters because I was like, somebody's going to betray me here. And it kind of ruined the reading experience. I wish I'd just gone in and just read it, and the ending still got me. Like, I did not know it was going to happen that way. But I don't know. It was a really good book. I think I would reread it and try to enjoy it now that I know. Ooh, Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. This was a really good book. I didn't like her other series, The Serpent and the Wings of the Night. So I was kind of hesitant about this book. But it was so good. I really liked our main characters. And it had such a unique premise with the girl not having eyeballs. She had them removed. Because she was a part of this cult. As a child, they took her in and removed her eyeballs. And so now she has these magical powers that come with the ability of not being able to see visually. But she can still see, if you know what I mean. Ooh, okay. Paladin's Grace. I thought this was written by a man. So T. Kingfisher, what a name. Didn't ever look this woman up. But to me, I was like, ooh, this is written by a man. It's in a male's point of view. So I read this book and I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. But I just thought, well, of course this is written by a man, you know? But then I found out it's written by a woman. So now I'm like, I like it. And I don't know why it's in the male perspective. And why would you do that? It's very like she doesn't have a point of view at all.
Mm-hmm. Yes, finally we're on to 5 stars.
Okay, well that was it. We're on to 5 stars. Woo!
You guessed it. All the hearts. I love all these books, all these characters. I love the shows. Nothing bad to say about them. I love that whole series. Thing. I love Bride. I love Low and Misery. I've reread this like
twice this year.
Twice this year.
That's all you have to say about it.
Yeah, I love it.
Culty for me at the time was like an awakening, and this was a 5 star. The soccer training, like that whole thing, I could not. I just ate it up. So I love the slow burn in here, but I think I like wait for it more for a romance. But this was like the better, like from the beginning to end. I think I enjoyed it more. So like I said, The Cruel Prince for me is a 5 star. The academic setting, the bullying, the family trope, the beginning of this book, it was shocking. The end of this book is shocking. And I think the pacing was very well done. So 5 stars. For me, this is a 5-star read. This made me rethink my life decisions. It made me want to be a librarian. Should I go back to school? Should I get a master's degree? What should I do with my life? It made me think all these things. And I adored the romance and the new girl vibes of it all. So, like I said, the Fire in the Flesh series or Flesh and Fire series, mm-hmm. The first 2 books are 5 stars. Nyktos is the book boyfriend, the book daddy, the shadow daddy, the everything. They're very long, as you can see, but the quotes in here, the banter. If you have ever watched Gilmore Girls and liked Rory and Logan and their banter, if you watch that scene of them meeting in that hallway and they go back and forth, the vibes are here in every single one of her books. They have it, and
for the sake of argument.
That's their vibe. Like I'm feral. I literally have quotes. I went through and like highlighted stuff.
Not the dots on the page.
Now, point of the video you all have been waiting for. Our highest rated of the year and our lowest rated of the year. And I hope you guessed right. You want to start
off low?
Let's start with low. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you guessed it, if you've watched anything this year of us talking about books. But these were our least favorite of the year. Gonna tell them why?
I really liked Powerless. This was just a disappointment. I really didn't like this. The way they talk to each other, everything.
But you did rate it what?
2.
Okay.
The way when they kiss each other, first kiss, I didn't like anything. They're just chasing each other back and forth for no reason, and then by the time they got to where they needed to go, I didn't care, and I don't care.
And I don't care.
I didn't like it at all. I'm sorry.
If you watch this reading vlog, Miss Alex chose this for me to read. And I knew that I wasn't going to like it by like chapter 2, probably. The insta-lust vibes, ugh. I had so many problems with their relationship. It was so toxic. There's like a gun scene at the end that really threw me, and I was like, what is happening in this book? It was terrible. Their chemistry was lacked there. Like they had none. And why is she the only person in town that could communicate with him? Via sign language. Nobody here in this town knows sign language? Nobody tries to learn it? This poor guy. And then he was kind of toxic. I don't know. Like, moving on to a positive. Moving on to positive. Our favorites. Drum roll. 3, 2, 1. Can you tell? Did you know? I hope you knew. Lily, why is this your favorite of the year?
I love a wolf. I love a clan. I love Outlander, and I loved Akatar. So all those things mix into one, and wearing a black kilt.
No, he wouldn't wear any colors. He wouldn't wear a kilt.
He wore black.
He wore all black. Everyone else would wear a kilt, and he would not wear one.
Say less.
This book.
Really
Loved it.
This is a 6-star probably for me.
Wow.
Don't
This is like a 6-star read for me. I don't care what anybody says about miscommunication. This was done in a realistic way. Like, these other books where they don't talk for years and years and years and years.
I read this as well this year in 5-star.
Exactly. I thought you mentioned it. But, okay, well, Lily loves this book, too. I just think this is my favorite book of the year. It made me feel every feeling I could feel. And I was crying at the end. This is the book, I was sending pictures to Lily of me crying. I was like,
she was like, I'm broken. I was at work and I was like, girl, what happened?
I was like, what is happening about this book? It was giving me La La Land vibes. And if you know me, La La Land was my favorite movie for so long. It was just so good. Lily has tabbed it, clearly. I need to go through and tab it myself, because I love this book. The quotes, the relatability she had, like, Harriet was so relatable. When I kind of felt his vibe, like, where people just kind of look at you, they make their assumption, that's really it. They don't care to get to know you for real. And I do think they belong together. I know some people don't, and they don't think they'll last, but they lasted this long. And she clearly has made choices in her life that are leading her to where she's at, you know? If you read it, you know, like, I feel like you can sympathize with what she was going through.
Yeah, that's all the books we read in 2024. Hopefully the new year brings us new good energy.
This was not a great reading year, but I did find some good authors, like Emily Henry, Maria Zapata, and Jennifer L. Armentrout. Yeah. So that's it. 'Twas all she wrote. 'Twas all she read.
Yeah.
So, that's all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Like and comment.
Hopefully
and
we're more consistent this year. Our New Year's resolutions.
We say that every video, so catch us in the... Anyway.
Deuces.
Thank you.
Bye.